Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. In the last few hours tonight, Spokane City Council members passed an emergency ordinance making drug use illegal in public areas effective immediately. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk shows us how local leaders are reacting tonight.
Tonight, in a unanimous vote, Spokane City Council members passing an emergency ordinance several weeks before the state's existing drug laws expire. Now, anyone possessing or using drugs like meth, heroin, or fentanyl in public could be arrested and charged with a misdemeanor. After July 1st, the penalty becomes a gross misdemeanor or up to nearly a year in jail. However, the law gives officers discretion. They can offer someone treatment or community resources instead of a citation or jail time.
We're not trying to ruin anybody's lives. You're going to notice that it is a gross misdemeanor and not a felony, because a felony does have the ability to ruin somebody's life. And if somebody needs some help, we want to help them, and we want to keep our community safe.
Is it perfect? No, but it's the best that we have at this time. It gives our officers a tool. I hope it will be applied fairly as they go forward.
Council members heard testimony from business owners and citizens who say they're fed up finding needles and fentanyl foil on sidewalks. Late tonight, Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward reacting to the new law, saying in part, quote, "Criminalizing the possession and use of drugs sets the critical expectation that we have prioritized the health and safety of our community. This action establishes tough boundaries for drugs and leaves every opportunity for treatment." Governor Jay Inslee has called lawmakers back to Olympia to pass new state drug laws before they expire at the end of June. If that happens, the city's ordinance will likely be amended to match state law. In Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
And we spoke to people in the West Hills ahead of tonight's vote. One resident says the ordinance is important for the city's overall health.
It will be beneficial for all of Spokane, and it's so needed. And what's happening is the state has failed to take action, and communities are having to do this on their own. Bellingham has passed an ordinance. 4 other cities have, and it's time for us to take control.
Again, Governor Jay Inslee called a special session to discuss drug possession in Washington. Across the border tonight, we are learning that fentanyl-related deaths in Idaho nearly doubled between 2021 and 2022. That's according to the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare. Today, a specialist with the South Central Public Health District said the best way to prevent drug-related deaths is through education. Meantime, fentanyl-related deaths are also on the rise nationwide. But is it the leading cause of death among American adults? It is a claim that many politicians have made, including Washington Representative Cathy McMorris Rodgers. She wrote in a newsletter that fentanyl is now the leading cause of death for Americans aged 18 to 45. What are you guys seeing in terms of fentanyl in the state of Idaho?
Well, we're seeing a massive increase over the past few years.
So tomorrow on KREM 2 News at 6, I, along with our local Verify team, dig into the data to uncover if fentanyl deaths have actually overtaken cancer, heart disease, and car crashes. Well, in less than 24 hours, the Spokane Valley City Council will consider a new ordinance to target unlicensed massage parlors. If passed, all massage credentials would have to be verified by local law enforcement. Now, to be clear, there won't be any new requirements added to the license itself. It's just a verification process. We'll cover the outcomes of tomorrow's meeting right here on KREM 2 News at 10. All right, let's talk weather locally. After a rainy weekend, summer-like temperatures could be heading back to the inland northwest. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo with more on what's in store. Jeremy?
Well, Mark, when it comes to those temperatures, we're sitting pretty mild tonight. Believe it or not, a dew point in the 60s means that it's just difficult to cool down. So right now, we still sit in the 50s at the 10 o'clock hour. All in all, not that bad, but our showers have kind of dissipated across much of the inland northwest. That's a bit of good news as things wind down. No more convection, no more worry of strong storms. That will continue the trend overnight. Tomorrow, we'll see some more scattered showers develop later in the afternoon. I think our best shot at getting more widespread moisture kind of happens tomorrow early evening. But then it moves out, winds down, we wind up catching another break, and then a big shift in the weather pattern arrives. As we move into the middle part of the week, we'll dry out and temperatures start climbing. Tomorrow looks a lot like today. Wednesday, we're back up near 70, and by Thursday, we're in the 70s and getting even warmer as we head into the weekend. Coming up, I'll take you back outside, and we're going to talk a summer-like weekend, and that includes a look at Mother's Day.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Looking ahead, we are just days away from the end of Title 42, a policy that went into effect during the pandemic. It allowed for quick deportations on the grounds of public health. Well, tonight officials warn a massive surge of migrants is expected when that policy ends. They say between 10 and 13,000 people could come to the southern border each day. The Biden administration is sending 1,500 active duty military personnel to the border. They are expected to arrive on Wednesday. Within the last few hours, Washington Governor Jay Inslee released a statement addressing Title 42. It said, quote, "We do anticipate more people who come seeking asylum now that Title 42 is ending. The governor's office is in close contact with the White House, the Department of Homeland Security, and is coordinating with state agencies, including DHS, the Office of Refugee and Immigration Assistance, and the Military Department regarding potential options for shelter and other services," unquote. Well, tonight, bodies are still being recovered from two villages in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. This after severe flooding marked one of the deadliest disasters in the country's history. Right now, the death toll is at more than 400, but officials say they expect that number to rise as muck and debris is still burying entire homes. Meantime, a Kenyan man rescued from the more severe flooding tonight. New body camera footage shows the moment of that rescue as two pilots navigated the flooded terrain. The man was driving a tanker that was suddenly caught in flash flooding. Officials say he was trapped in the cabin of that tanker for hours before finally being rescued. A search is underway tonight for two climbers whose tracks disappeared at the site of an avalanche in Denali National Park. Officials say Nafia Nawal from Seattle and Eli Michael from Indiana were last known to be near Moose's Tooth, a 10,000-foot mountain 12 miles southeast of Denali. The mountain is the tallest in North America. Rangers followed the climbers' boot tracks until they disappeared. The search continues tonight from the air because ground conditions are just too dangerous right now. Well, we are just 2 days away from the official end date of the public health emergency tied to COVID-19. But before we get there, you may need to throw out any at-home testing kits you have lying around. The FDA has recalled certain tests that may contain contaminated liquid solution. The tests from Roche Diagnostics were distributed at CVS and online through Amazon. The FDA says if you have one of those kits, you should throw the whole thing away in the trash and do not pour the liquid down the drain. The FDA's website has a full list of the recalled lot numbers. And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. The man arrested for allegedly threatening to bomb a Pullman apartment faced a judge for the first time today. Newly filed court documents obtained by KREM 2 detail what led up to the suspect's arrest and the explosive devices police found on the scene. The documents state the suspect, Apollo Lawyer, was drunk and threatening to set the apartment on fire. Pullman police requested assistance from the Spokane bomb squad. Their presence had many neighbors on edge.
It wasn't too scary, but once, bomb squad shows up and everything, it's very like, okay, once they get out of here, then I'll feel better about it. Well, it told me that it wasn't just like someone playing around with like a small fire or anything.
Lawyer is facing multiple felony charges. In court today, the judge set a $10,000 cash bail. He also banned Lawyer from Pullman city limits. New tonight, the Spokane County Traffic Unit needs help identifying the driver of a dark-colored pickup truck. They say that truck was parked behind this silver Honda Accord when the driver of the Honda stuck his hand out the sunroof and pointed a black gun at the driver of the truck. Deputies say the driver of that truck is a victim and they'd like to talk to him. So anyone with information is urged to call Crime Check. That number is right there at the bottom of your screen. Today on Riverfront Park's South Pedestrian Bridge, it is getting a new bridge deck, new lighting, and new beams. The North Suspension Bridge will also be temporarily closed starting today for construction, as well as Canada Island for the time being. There will be a detour route along the Howard Street Promenade through the center of the park. The South Bridge is expected to be reopened next year in time for the 50th anniversary of Expo 74. And in just 2 days, WashDOT is hosting a workshop for the community to provide feedback on two final designs for the I-90 and the North Spokane Corridor connection. That workshop begins at 5:30 p.m. and goes until 7 p.m. at the Hive Library on East Sprague Avenue. This comes weeks after Governor Jay Inslee signed a new transportation budget that allows for more than $166 million to fund construction on the project through the year 2025. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just text us the word NIGHT to 509-448-2000 and we'll send them right to your phone.